Voices Paranormal Evidence.
Tonight, see what truly exists inside the world of the paranormal. Inside. Join the discussion and review some of the best paranormal evidence captures from a wide variety of experienced and up-and-coming investigators. See and hear what they capture, where they captured it, and how they captured it. Right now on Entity Voices
Paranormal Evidence.
Live.
Good evening and welcome to Entity Voices Paranormal Evidence. I'm Tony Rathman.
I'm Mr. Rathman.
I'm Chris Allgood.
I'm Ryan Yacovetti.
And I can't believe Shree is actually with us tonight. It's only been like 2 months.
You forced me.
Thank
you, guys.
Yes, I did. Yes, I
there
did.
You go. Santa listens because that was on my list.
Exactly.
Well, nice to be back.
It's great to have you back. Tonight, we've got a very special show for you. We don't have a guest tonight, but we've got something even better. And this was Mr. Allgood's idea. But he suggested, let's do an end of the year, the best of 2021 investigations and captures. And I'm like, that's a fantastic idea. In fact, we do that every year. I think we've done it since 2014.
Right.
And I'm working on it when he writes it. And I'm like, good idea. As I was literally putting ours together for Facebook and stuff. But
can I
yes.
interrupt you? Sorry, baby.
You're not interrupting.
I know. We just want to say hello and hi to Lourdes and Audra. They're not feeling well today, so hopefully they feel better soon. We love you and we miss you guys.
Yes. They have symptoms, flus, and other things going on, and so we do miss them tonight. Yes. But they will recover, and we will pray for a speedy recovery and that they are back in 2022 and back on the show.
Yes, I miss my girls.
I know. It's not the same.
I know.
Have you ever done one where you're the only person on the screen? Yeah, you did.
Yes, when you were sick.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
That is true.
Yeah, hi to Dylan and
Bobby,
Cindy. Carrie. Because it's so many. Hi, guys.
Eric Radio, American Road Warrior. The awesome people who show up all the time, and we appreciate it.
We appreciate that very much. But you're in for a real treat. Now some of these we've played before. I have some that haven't. I know Ron has some in there that have never been seen before, and there is some great stuff here. So regardless of whether you may have seen it on a previous show or not seen it at all, there is some really good stuff tonight from each and every one of the teams. And I don't know about you guys, but I'm excited to get into them. What do you think?
Yes, and one more shout out to Team Simonelli and Team Holte. Katie shared it on Facebook. Steve and Katie are also two of the most brilliant and two very cool, devoted followers of the show. And Anthony Simonelli, he knows a guy.
Who knows a guy.
Yes, he does. Yes, he does. All right. So let's break into the best of 2021's evidence. Yes. So, Chris, I'm going to start with yours and Audra's.
Yeah.
And I don't know how many of these need explanations. The first one I'm going to play is called Footsteps.
This one was caught at Trans-Allegheny.
Nice.
We actually heard these footsteps on multiple floors. And we've heard this one before on the show. As a matter of fact, I think all of mine have been on the show, but it's been sporadic, different throughout the year. But this one, we were on the first floor, and these footsteps were coming down the hallway. And they're pretty solid footsteps. You can hear them pretty well. And it almost sounds like an old nurse's shoe, the hard-soled, high-heeled nurse's shoe as you come down the hallway. It's pretty neat.
All right. Here is that clip.
Your footsteps. Audra.
Nice.
Wow.
Those
Yeah,
are clear as a bell.
The fascinating thing about this is I was standing at one end of the hallway, and Audra was 3 rooms down doing an EVP session. You can hear her asking questions about 3 doors down, and those actually were coming towards me when I caught them on the recorder. It was pretty cool.
That's awesome.
Those were distinct. I don't think the Rockettes in New York City put their feet down like that.
Well, and the pattern between each step was absolutely typical. I mean, there's no denying that was not anything else. That was a slow stroll walking pattern to it. And
it sounded like a heavy boots.
Absolutely.
You could almost envision a nurse walking with her clipboard, looking in each room, checking as she's walking the hall. Yep.
Yeah.
That's also what I took from what Tony said about when he was describing the footsteps, is it seemed consistent with who would have been walking around that location. And that's spot on. I mean, that image pops into your head, but I think for good reason.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And just so we're clear, there was nobody else on that hallway besides me and Audra. And Audra was standing completely still, and I was standing completely still at the time, and we were both wearing tennis shoes. So
yeah, I was gonna say that. I don't think you guys are wearing heels, just like Tony when he.
I had my shit.
Those are my favorite.
Yeah.
Okay, so I have a pair. I have a bear. Sorry, go ahead, Ron.
It got the Hellard seal of approval.
Yes, you did.
Nice.
Those were hard-soled dress shoes, not high heels.
Okay.
And they sound like it, but they're not. Okay,
So
just wanted to clear that up.
Carrie was there with us. For some reason, she shows up as Facebook user when she comes onto the show. I think she's trying to stay anonymous.
All right. The next one I'm going to play, Chris, is titled I Cause No Problems.
Oh.
Really?
Oh, this was the one that we did. This was also Trans-Allegheny. This was when they found out that I was former law enforcement, and there is a male entity that hangs out on the children's ward, and they wanted me to interrogate him because they said when you interrogate him, he tends to get nervous. And this was an EVP that we picked up while I was doing that. So.
Awesome. Here's that clip.
So Ben, I have some concerns, and I just got some questions for you, and I'm wondering, and I'll give you time to answer once I ask these questions. As an officer of the law, I find it a little confusing why you want to spend so much time in the child's ward. Can you explain to me why you spend so much time up here, Ben?
Wow.
Awesome.
That was a cool one, yeah.
That was let me play that one just one more time, because that was really cool. Here it is.
So Ben, I have some concerns, and I just got some questions for you, and I'm wondering, and I'll give you time to answer once I ask these questions. As an officer of the law, I find it a little confusing why you want to spend so much time in the child's ward. Can you explain to me why you spend so much time up here, Ben?
Very cool.
Awesome. Just awesome.
So you can't hide from Chris Allgood if you're amongst the living or the deceased. If he has questions, you will answer.
You will answer.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Better respond. So there was about 7 to 8 other investigators in the room with us at the time. I would love to get their audio to see what else we caught from that sessions.
Yeah.
Nice.
Unfortunately, I don't have that all. But
It would be good to get it though, just to see if anybody else caught it as well.
Or if they caught anything else, because that was it was about a 15-20 minute session, and that was about a 30-second clip of it. So
Wow. And that was Trans-Allegheny?
yeah, Trans-Allegheny second floor children's ward.
He's going to remember you when we go back.
Oh yes, he is.
Wow.
For those of you watching, May 21st, 2022, we will be at Trans-Allegheny. Private.
Yeah.
We have a private. We have it set up for a private. So that'll be a lot of evidence coming from that one.
And I would say that was not just an anomalous vocal. That was a response.
Yes.
Right.
You can get anomalous vocals that are unsolicited that just come through. That's like, whoa, they said whatever, and it could even be relevant. But that was a response to what Chris was laying out there. So that's extra cool to me.
Yeah, that was.
No,
awesome.
that's a great point, Ron, and you're absolutely right. He sounded a little worried because Chris is like, I'm concerned, from an officer of the law. He's like, I cause no problems.
What's your favorite?
Yeah.
You have something in your eyes.
Not anymore. I think it was your finger.
Let's go, Winky.
Arg. All right. Next one from Chris and Audra is I Took Their Souls.
Oh, I love this one.
I love this one. This one is. I've talked about this place numerous times. I love this place. The last 2-3 trips we didn't get a chance to go. It's Tataugany Cemetery in Tataugany, Ohio. It's listed as one of the most haunted cemeteries in Ohio. There's a section that's newer section. There's a section from the 1800s. There's a section from the 1700s. And then there's another section that is a mix of the 1800s and 1700s. It's a very dark section. But during this recording, we had been talking to a little girl, and we'd gotten many responses on the EMF detector, and we got a couple of EVPs from her. But she quit talking to us, and then I asked these questions, and this is the response I got.
All right. Here it is.
You still here?
Oh, yeah. We play that one more time.
Yeah.
Still here?
Sorry, Ron, I didn't mean to cut you off.
No. I was saying you have to. Yeah, absolutely. Play it again.
So,
It's so terrible. I heard you speaking, and all of a sudden the video came up. I'm like, oops.
No, I was just yaying. I wanted to hear it again. That's awesome.
and for clarity, this is probably about a 5 to 10 acre cemetery, maybe 15 acres. It sits way outside of town in the middle of a bunch of cornfields. There's nothing else around there. It's just this cemetery. Closest house is 2-3 miles down the road. And it was Audra, my sister-in-law Shannon, and myself. So that is not my voice, and I was the only male there. So
Wow.
And you're outside, so there's probably very little possibilities of any kind of like sound refraction, having the sound bounce off anything.
no,
Nobody reacted to it. You probably had limited propagation of that sound. That's really clear.
yeah, that was a good one.
That's
Creepy,
awesome.
but good.
Yeah, creepy and good, synonymous.
So cool. So cool. A little scary too. I took their souls. That's a little freaky.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's
Unless it's connected to the previous clip with the hard-soled shoes and it made them softer.
There you go. Because he was complaining about the banging footsteps, so he took their souls.
Cobbler.
It all makes sense
Cobbler.
now.
I'm trying to sleep, and that bitch keeps walking by with them hard shoes.
See, we solve problems on this show.
See, Chris, all of your amazing observations. Now Ron has got it, and he just saw it.
Yeah, I've got it, and I don't know what to do with it. You can have it. It's in
Nice
wrong
job,
hands.
Ron. That was great.
That was awesome.
That was great.
It's a fantastic clip.
It is.
Yeah.
It really is. All right. The next one, Chris, is titled Need Help.
Oh, this was Trans-Allegheny, 3rd floor in the violent women's ward. And it was myself, Michael Bennett, and Zach Bennett from Piedmont Paranormal. Piedmont Paranormal here in North Carolina. And the women like it when the men come down the hallway. So the three of us went down the hallway, and all three of us were standing in the same area. Not one of us heard this at the time, but you can actually hear pounding, and then a female ask for help.
All right. Here is that clip. Crystal clear.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's
So
awesome.
the significance, and I talk about situational awareness all the time. Anybody that's been to Trans-Allegheny, for those of you that haven't been to Trans-Allegheny, that third floor, those doors are not like normal wood doors, because in the violent ward, they would tend to lock them in their rooms. Those doors are about that thick, and they're solid steel. So if you listen to that pounding, it almost sounds like the heel of a hand on a really hard steel door, which definitely signifies the area that we're in and adds more credence to the EVP that was caught. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, let me play that. Sorry, go ahead.
It's trying to get your attention, because when it says I need help or need help, and then pound, like,
Yeah.
hey, I need help.
Hey, quit walking.
Yeah.
Let me play that one again. That's an awesome capture, and that's definitely female voice. No,
Yes.
no,
Oh, yeah.
no debate there either. So
Sexy
Yeah, I
voice
agree.
though.
a little bit.
Need help.
Now, remember, this was the violent women's ward, and these women were crazy. So it doesn't matter how sexy she sounds. Mm-mm.
Mix things up a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
PG-13.
The next one, Chris, is titled "Not a Ghost."
This was caught at, which is now open for private investigations starting in March again, because January and February are too damn cold here. This was caught at the Montgomery Plantation Home that we now control. We're going to open up for public investigations. We're going to do like we did at the hospital in Ajo, where we're going to actually bring new investigators in, show them how to do investigations in starting next summer. But we are now, Piedmont Paranormal and Spirits of the Southeast did the very first private, not last weekend, the weekend before. So this is the 1830s Montgomery Plantation Home from Dr. Montgomery.
Awesome. Here is that clip. Wow, that was quick. Let me play that again. That's awesome.
Yeah, the significance about this is Carrie, Audra, and I were all there doing a private investigation, just the three of us, for Southern Entities. And right before this was caught, about a half hour before, I was walking through, introducing us, letting them know, hey, if you're here, let us know you're here, what we're trying to do, what we're trying to accomplish to help the house. And I actually said, if there's any spirits or ghosts here, make sure you talk to us tonight. And one of the first EVPs we catch is a male saying, not a ghost. It's like, hey, asshole, I live here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
awesome capture, though.
And classic Rodave, right? Where he would always say that oftentimes the cadence or the rate of speed that the message comes in is not what's typical to us, or even sometimes attainable
Right.
for us.
And that is quick. And the fact that you were able to identify what was even being said. Now, it's pretty clear, don't get me wrong, but it is so fast. Not a ghost, not a ghost, not a ghost. I mean, you're right. That cadence is way beyond what, we would speak at. And although you yell at me for speaking too fast lots of times, but not that fast.
Not a ghost. Not a ghost.
Yeah, that's what we sound like at the end of our show when we want to get one more comment in, and then it goes to the ending, and then yeah,
That was awesome.
That speaks
Capture,
to the phenomena too. That's really cool.
yeah, that was awesome capture. He sounds
Dylan.
agitated for sure. Yeah. What?
Look at Dylan's comment.
I want to go investigating so bad right now. That's what my son said. Yeah, me too.
Me too.
We got to hang out with Dylan in Las Vegas at the Para Unity conference. He's an awesome kid. For people who just see the name passed around here sometimes when he shows up, he's an awesome kid. He's a lot of fun. Definitely knows his stuff. He's 15. He's definitely an educated investigator at that age already.
Yeah.
And I'd love to be out in the field with him sometime. I think it'd be a blast if we all got out there and brought him too.
Yeah. Dylan's fantastic. He's been on a few investigations with us at the hospital, and man, he is right there with us, following us through every bit of the way. Man, you can't tell he's a 15-year-old. He just seems like another investigator in the group. It's fantastic.
I know he's taller than me.
Yeah, he is. He is taller than you now. But yeah, he definitely enjoys it, and he's got some stuff coming up. We haven't announced anything yet because we're still pinpointing date, but he's going to get to do an investigation with a very well-known investigator, just the two of them, and it should be cool. So
You're not part of it?
I'll be there, but I'm not letting them run it. All right. The next clip is rental. I won't stop. I'm caught.
Oh, this is when Audra and I first moved to Charlotte. We had a rental just on the east side of Charlotte, and I kept telling Audra that, man, I feel like there's people passing through here. Audra, a couple times, she was in the bathroom and somebody stuck their head in. She thought it was me, and I was on the opposite side of the house. And then one day I got home from work and I was talking to Audra on the phone, and there were times I would hear a woman's voice. I'd hear a man's voice in the house when nobody was there. And I told Audra I was hearing the voices again. She said, stop and do an EVP session. So this is in that rental. And this was literally out of a 15-minute EVP session. This was one of the EVPs that I caught. It was pretty cool.
Awesome. Here it is.
Why do you keep coming in here?
Wow.
Yeah, that's really good. That's really.
That's awesome. Let me play that again.
Why do you keep coming in here?
That's awesome.
Wow. Did you hear any of that with your own ears or just on the recorder?
I did not. No, about 10 minutes prior to me doing the EVP session, I could hear some voices from down the hall. And granted, this is a 1,900 square foot house. I'm way back in the one corner of the house in my office, and there's nobody else in the house. It's just me.
Wow.
Yeah, and the walls are pretty solid here. They're all weatherproof, because it's a pretty damp location here in North Carolina. So it's not like you're picking up sounds from the outside unless windows were open. I'm telling you right now, and there were no windows open. Yeah.
Wow. That's a great capture. Just
it's an awesome one.
Clarity and tonality, and you just turn the computer on, honey, with your foot.
I'm sorry.
All right. So the next one I'm going to play goes over to Cherie and I, and this was actually a question that Ron asked the spirits, and I'm pretty sure this was DR. Was this DR? I'm pretty sure it was DRV. And we won't let me play it. Here is that clip.
Do you know Tony Rathman? Yes or no? Do you know Tony Rathman? Yes or no?
That was DRV, right, Ron?
That was a direct radio voice. Yeah, that was a pure barren of any vocals or radio emission frequency on long wave, just white noise. And they absolutely knew Tony Rathman.
That was so cool.
For everybody watching, for clarity, the second one was slowed down so you could hear it. It wasn't Ron getting drunk halfway through the investigation.
Not this one.
That's later.
Yeah, that happened about Selma to White Hill.
No kidding.
All right, so the next one I'm gonna play. This was sorry, there we go. The next one I'm going to play was the Evox, and these were just a few responses we got. This was also Kingsland Manor. So here is that clip.
Ask a request. So I'm going to say, if there are any spirits in the room, can you say hello? right there.
Wow.
Thank you.
That's awesome.
Can you give me a name? What's your name?
Dwight.
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 Hello, Dwight. How are you?
Perfect.
Holy shit.
How is it? How is it? It's good. Hi.
How many spirits are here with us right now? Can you give me a number? Three. How many of us are in this room?
How many?
11, but there's 10 of us.
Well, maybe the one answering the question makes 11.
Well,
11 again.
There's a mannequin in the corner too.
Oh, yeah. That one's a mannequin. So minus the mannequin, how many people, human beings, are in the room?
That was 10.
10, right there.
How many are in the house?
I did.
Do you like whiskey?
I do.
Is it legal or not legal to drink?
Can you say that again?
Yeah. That was a fantastic night. That device performed phenomenally all 4 nights. That device performed phenomenally. Just as a reference point too, I asked the question I asked at the end of that strategically for a reason, legal or not legal, because illegal and legal may have come across sounding almost identical through a box. But if the word not was present by itself or with legal, it would be, I think, an easier way to audibly differentiate. That's why I asked it that way. Otherwise, I would have said legal or illegal normally.
Yeah, and which was a very smart thing to do, because you're right, legal and illegal can sound very similar. And this way, yeah, you said legal or not legal, and legal clear as a bell.
Yeah.
So those were cool to get those, because the responses just kept coming one after the other to everything we were asking, and that was definitely a highlight of 2021. That was so cool.
And let's credit where credit's due here too. That's a prototype version of a box that you built. So Tony, not just credited as an operator here, but an investigator. But he built the box, and it was clean, and it worked really well all 4 nights. That was the first night that kind of set the tone for what the device was going to do.
Yeah, I was impressed with how it functioned, and that wasn't even the final product. That was the pre-Vox, the initial build to test some of the circuitry that was in it, and then we built the EVOX from it. But I was impressed with its performance. But thank you.
Yeah, good. It was really good.
All right.
That thing has performed multiple times on private investigations that we've done. Oh, phenomenal.
Yeah, it gets some responses that just blow the mind, because the mathematical probability of that stuff just showing up randomly is just not physically possible. So it was one of the defining factors that solidified our belief that there is so much more to this than meets the eye, and that's why we keep exploring it.
Good job.
Thank you. All right, so the next one is at the Phelps Dodge Hospital, and it is in the old waiting room, which, Chris, is probably not more than about
10 by 12.
10. That's what I was going to say. 10 by 12 feet. Small room, no exits. There's only one hallway going in, and that was the way I came in. So let me play this clip. Testing.
There any spirits in here? Can you say hello? If there's any spirits in this lounge, can you say something to us?
Wow.
Yeah, that stone came out. Whoa, what happened?
Hi, Tony.
Yeah, that's perfect.
I
You're
didn't
on.
see
It's you.
anything.
Go, baby, go. That was perfect. Nothing wrong with that.
That was awesome.
Anyway, yeah, the stone got thrown in that tiny little room. I don't know where it came from. I just heard it hit the floor. It rolled across in front of me. I picked it up, turned around, walked out.
That happened to me too. Remember when Chris
Upstairs.
and Audra, yeah,
I
when
do.
we were doing investigation.
I do remember
Everybody
that.
understands that room that Tony was in. There's no loose debris. There's the ceiling's not coming down.
Mhm.
There's nothing in that room. That stone could not have come from inside that room. So it's not
Right.
like a particle of the roof fell off. It's not like something off the wall fell. That room is one of the cleanest rooms in the whole hospital. So for something to get thrown in that room, that was something not of this world picking something up and chucking it. I've been in that room 1,000 times. There's nothing in there you can throw.
If the origin of the stone thrown was not indigenous to the room, as you're saying, part of the construction, part of the roof, it wasn't like there wasn't stones on the floor, then you're looking at a real possibility of an apport, which is something that pops into existence. It happened a lot to Marcello Bacci when he did his direct radio sessions in Grosseto, Italy, where flower petals would fall around him, or things of the parents who came to his sittings and they were communicating with their deceased children. Things that were relevant to the kids' lives or interests would appear like under their chairs. And so that's an apport. That's something that popped into existence. If it was not part of the environment initially, and then to get thrown on top of audible evidence. So that just for people who know, that is a triple threat as evidence goes. That is not just one piece of evidence. That's 3 wrapped in one.
That's true.
Thank you. Yeah, I was shocked because, like I said, I mean, you had it happen in a much bigger room in a huge hallway. This thing's tiny. And for this stone to just have come flying out of where I don't even know was pretty memorable.
Let me add some credibility to this. What Cherie's talking about. Audra and I were actually there we were all 4 doing the investigation. So to add credence to this location, the piece that was thrown upstairs was not a small chunk.
No,
that was a good sized piece that got chucked upstairs. Yeah. And it wasn't any of us because we were all in 4 different locations. We couldn't have directly thrown anything into the room that Cherie was in.
Correct.
Yeah.
That's true.
And I don't think you guys are gonna throw rocks on.
Oh, we did it the week after when we went back down. Remember? Because you kept talking about, I hope no, Chris picks up this piece of toilet or plaster or whatever it was, and he just chucks it in the room. She screams so loud.
Just so we're clear, the reason Chris did that is because every flipping time we went down there, Cherie tried to scare me. And it never freaking worked. So I had to get some payback. and it worked great.
That you did.
Yeah. Yep. Oh my God.
All right. The next. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, I said all good, all even.
Yeah.
All right. The next one I'm going to play, I believe, is a clip of the parabolic mic we had running at
White Hill Mansion.
No, I think this is Kingsland.
No.
Yep. Kingsland Manor. Here is that clip.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I think that's Kreischer Mansion in Staten Island, New York. And the beginning of that was Ghost Box stuff because I recognized the sweep of the Holte RCA Super Radio.
Yeah, as soon as it started playing, I'm like, oh, I guess I left that in there. But
is that the DVR?
No, that was a
or
ghost.
RD, whatever you call that thing. I can't even.
DRV. No, that was a Ghost Box, scanning Ghost Box in the beginning. So I apologize. It wasn't all parabolic mic, but when the background static noise went away, then it was straight EVPs off the parabolic.
Yeah, I believe that was Kreischer. The picture was Kreischer Mansion.
Yeah, that's a fantastic room, by the way. That was awesome. I want to point something out to some of the newer investigators that watch the show when reviewing evidence. So there's a portion of that where you hear Cherie in the background go, hello, and you hear the echo in the house. All the evidence captured in that recording right there, there was no echo. So it's almost like you could hear it coming through the Ghost Box, you could hear it coming through the recording, but it was embedded. There was no echo like it was in the room. It wasn't in the location. It was coming from, I don't know, another dimension, another area of the room, but it wasn't echoing through the house like Cherie's voice did. And that's a significant factor in that right there when reviewing
I think
evidence.
that's Lourdes.
Oh, maybe it was Lourdes. Whoever said hello, you could tell that wasn't a portion of it. And the echo and the sound quality of the voice was completely different than what was coming through the DVR and the Ghost Box.
Yeah.
Right. But that welcome response didn't have that echo.
No.
And it sounded ethereal. I mean, it was just, that was crazy.
Yeah, that was Kreischer Mansion.
Yeah, you brought a lot of interesting stuff and toys to the table for the 4 nights. You went with your gut, right? You were traveling by air, so you had to pick things you thought you could travel with that you thought might be worth bringing. And I don't think you made one bad choice. The parabolic certainly was one of the better ones because you got some really good choices off that.
Thank you. Mary says, cover him up. Did they kill someone? Well, this was Kreischer Mansion, which was known for mafia families. And so is that a possibility? Yeah.
Very good possibility. Or he was a friend of Anthony Simonelli's.
Yeah.
Well, that's why we were glad Anthony was there.
That's why he was there.
Yeah. This next piece of evidence is cement shoes.
Oh, boy.
Too funny. All right. Okay, so the next one I have, is EVPs from Silva Mansion. So here is that clip.
There you go.
It's just me.
Yeah, get creepier the longer it goes on.
Yeah.
Creepy as hell.
That was another great location. And I saw somebody ask a question: where is everybody and who was filming it? The actual filming was done by Lourdes, but the audio to it is from the parabolic, which was set on the second floor. So we just used her video of her walking through the upstairs and put it to the wave format from the parabolic mic. So what you're watching isn't actually somebody getting all these messages. This was combined over about 5-6 hours of recording and then cut.
Yeah, it's a montage. It's a montage.
Right. It's a montage. Yes, absolutely.
That's French for montage. You're welcome.
It's French for montage. So that's the highlight reel, but I got to tell you, that highlight reel is phenomenal. That is creepy as hell, especially that burn one. It's like, ooh, what the hell is that?
Yeah.
There wasn't a location that we went to, any of the four, that didn't produce something that we were all like, oh my God. And we're going to get to see a little bit more of that in the next couple of clips that I'm going to play. So with that said, the next one I'm going to play, it won't be this one, but for years, I tried to experiment with apps and they just never worked for me. And then finally I said to Sheree, I'm going to build a box. I'm going to make it use sections of vocal syllables. I'm going to reverse it so I know that there is nothing in there that can create words that I'm not aware of, because I built the database and I built this box we call the RSB box, the reverse syllable box. And that's all it says is syllables. There are no words. There are no nothing. So here's a clip of that box that we built in 2021. Yeah. Beginning of 2021. So here is that clip. Are there any spirits here? 4? Spirits, can you say hi, Tony? Weekend, yep, it's the weekend. How do you hear me communicate with you? Do you like it when I talk with you? What color shirt do I have on? All right. Well, thank you for communicating with me.
You look fine.
Yeah, that's how you know you're charming, when it makes it through the veil.
I was just so shocked by this because, like I said, I tried app after app, and I'm like, these don't work. And until I did it myself, I was 100% sure there was nothing in the database even close to a word. There was nothing but half a second syllables, if that. I think I had it at 0.43. But there's not even anything that sounds like a word, let alone multiple words. And when I started asking questions and to get those responses, I was absolutely shocked.
You're blushing too. You look fine.
I know. Yeah. But that was cool. So I had to play that on the 2021 review.
That's fantastic. That's the very purpose of innovation, right? You not only that, but also experimentation, because we all have doubts. We're not sold on every aspect of the paranormal just because we have certain successes with some things. So you were looking at, well, there's a whole market of apps out there, not working for me. I'm not seeing it, so let me take a principle that apps are built on. Let me put something together that's self-contained, that you knew all the parameters and everything that was involved, and then you produce stellar results with it. I mean, that's by definition what the hell we do this for.
That is correct. And like I said, I was blown away by what came out of it. So Katie's asking, is it a speech chip? No, it is literally multi-layered, reversed 0.43 second reversed speech. In fact, what I used was one of our EVPE shows.
Yeah.
And I reversed the speech, and then I split it into 0.43 of a second wave files. And then the box will shuffle them every time I turn it on. And then it sounds differently every time. But for a word or a full sentence to come out is an absolute impossibility.
Yeah.
Wow. So you have randomization and fragmentation.
Correct.
Reversed.
Yeah, and I randomize them just so that if something does sound like a possible word, you don't keep hearing it. There's 1,500 files on each of 3 multi-gigabyte HD cards, and then it shuffles each card, so you never get the same combination. And out of 1,500 wave files, you can shuffle that for a year and not get the same components. So, but that's how that works.
That's very cool. That's a great piece. That's a great piece of research right there.
We have a new viewer. Hopefully we have more than one, from Ontario, Canada, wants to know where we're based out of.
I'm probably the closest one to you right here. I'm in New Jersey, right by New York City. Then Chris is a little further south down, Chris and Audra, and then Tony and Cherie are in the warmer part of the country.
Yes. So we're the trifecta. We're across the United States. I'm just outside of Charlotte, and Tony and Cherie are just outside of Phoenix.
Yeah, Tony's the Wizard of Az.
Az.
Oh, I like that. I like that.
I like that. The Wizard of Az.
Unless you say it too slow, then I don't like it.
Wizard of Ass.
All right. So Amy Edwards is asking, how many am I going to make and sell? Well, Amy, to be honest, I've never sold a box in 12 years of doing this. We keep them. We continually try to improve them. And, eventually maybe after I retire or something, who knows, maybe I'll get bored and do that. But we continually improve them and we continually work on them. So we've never sold anything.
He's only given away one.
I've only given away one, and that's to Chris. That is correct.
It's in the closet right behind me.
Yeah, when he was here, I even tried buying an identical suitcase to his and then switching it so I could keep the pre-box. Didn't work.
He sits it down on the curb, you drop it and switch.
The Wizard of Az couldn't fool him.
All right. So I think I've got, let's see, that was, okay. So the next one is also a parabolic mic. But this was the night that we investigated the Phelps Dodge, and then we pitched screen tents in one of the hospital rooms and went to sleep. Now you will see we are on the camera. Now, this was parabolic mic that was running in multiple locations within the hospital. Now, this is a condensed version again. This didn't happen in the 2 minutes you're going to just watch. It just shows us that we are there. We are asleep. We're not running around. We're the only ones in the hospital. But all these noises are happening while we sleep. So here is that clip. crazy stuff when we're the only ones in there. That was insanity.
There's a lot of movements.
So much movement. It's like the hospital was somehow operational again. It was insane.
Oh, coming from a metaphysical standpoint, from a sensitive, I'm telling you right now, that hospital still operates every freaking night.
Yep. It does. It really does. Hey, Race.
Race Hobbs.
Yeah, Race Hobbs.
We miss ya.
All right. So I've got two more, and then we're going to switch over to Ron's. But this next clip is actually the Phelps Dodge. It's actually the same night, but we did not know we had this until we reviewed all the DVR footage. So this was about 5:52 in the morning. The sun was up. The cameras had switched from night vision to regular day vision. But again, we were the only ones in the hospital. Here is that clip.
Wow.
Crazy stuff.
We say this all the time, and you quote me on saying that something's not pedestrian level, but that is there are millions of hours of footage on millions of cameras on millions of teams everywhere, and that is so rare to find that. You have a better chance of winning the lottery while you're elected the new pope than you do of getting one of those just every day. But that's amazing evidence from a visual standpoint, which is really, really, I think that's a critical piece to proving what it is we are out to prove.
Yeah,
it took us like 12 years.
I think there's more to that clip than just that. I think that was the last investigation you guys did.
Yes.
Yeah.
So Tony and Shree had been going to the Phelps Dodge Hospital for years. I mean, God, we did investigations over 2-3 years there, Audra and I. There were times I went down by myself. There were times I went down with my son. We all had a real big connection with that hospital, but not anymore. I mean, Tony and Shree had the biggest connection. I honestly think that hospital was saying goodbye. It knew.
Yeah.
That's exactly what Cherie said, because we didn't even know that it had been sold and we wouldn't step foot in it again. So that was exactly what Cherie said. It was like they were saying goodbye. And Cindy, yes, there were, at the end of that clip, you see it go across the hall into the other room, and then there's a second one that followed. So I remember going through that entire video, DVR, 8 cameras or whatever we had set up, and when I saw that, crazy, just crazy.
And the reason I say that, guys, is because the amount of video that we, between the 4 of us, recorded, the amount of audio that we recorded over the years in that hospital, it is insane that the very I mean, the very last moment that you guys were recording before you woke up, you caught something that above pedestrian level, like Ron says. I honestly think that place knew that was them saying goodbye.
It did feel that way. It really did, because, you know, Chris, you know how many times we've been in there and we've seen them. We've seen the shadow figures in the corners, stuck through halls and stuff, and we've captured a couple in photographs, but never had we captured. And we ran DVR all the time, and there is. When I saw that, I was just blown away. So I don't know if this is Carrie or who this is, but did you try and debunk that? Oh, yeah, we did. We had a FLIR facing the exact same angle as the camera that caught it. Nothing showed up, no disturbance whatsoever on the FLIR. That hallway is on the second floor. The light coming through is from the operating room window, which is about 18 feet high. There is no way a shadow could have protruded from the light source that it was coming through. The shadow actually moves from the light source at the end of the hall into the darkest section of the hall. Physical impossibility from a normal shadow. So I'm not sure what other things you're thinking about or looking at, but yeah, we tried every means. But let me say real quick, anyone who's listening on KGRA or even on their channels, they're going to switch over to their next scheduled program. We are going to continue. So if you want to continue watching, go to Facebook, go to KGRA's YouTube or our Facebook, and you'll be able to continue watching. Okay.
Carrie said it wasn't her.
Oh, okay. Two of them, two Facebook users then. All right, they're asking if I can play it again. It's kind of a longer clip. Maybe at the end I'll play it again, but I don't want to drag it out. So, what's your YouTube name? It's under Entity Voices Paranormal Investigations. All right, so the last clip I have I'm excited about because this has never been seen before. In fact, we have not even released this episode yet. This was the last episode of the 4-mansion tour we did. And this particular clip, again, was captured on a parabolic mic. But two of our investigation friends, Tim Dalton and Dennis Tassone, went up to what's known as the Bloody Bathroom. And you're going to hear them talking. You're going to hear them, Dennis wanting to have Tim take a picture or two of him in the bathtub. But what you're going to hear is a voice that is not Tim, is not Dennis, and is not anyone else in the house mention a piece of equipment, which they did have with them, and you'll hear it. You'll hear it go off actually after it's called out.
Also, we confirmed with Dennis and also Tim.
Yeah, it was neither one. It wasn't either one of them. Correct. So here, and I love this one. Here's that clip.
Oh, yeah. In the kitchen? This is the bathtub right here. This is the kitchen.
Alright, I'll just play into the bathtub area.
Is that where one died?
I don't know if someone died in here or what. Put it over here. I think someone died or someone got killed or they overdosed in the bathroom.
That's very creepy. No.
I'm gonna sit in the tub while you hold it.
You really gonna sit in the tub?
Just saying a second.
Okay, let me see if the camera's focused on the tub. Oh yeah.
Here we go.
There you go. You go sit in the tub?
Yeah, I wanted to hold the I'm gonna sit in the tub and take a couple pictures, and I think the
Pictures or you on video?
pictures at first. Hang on. See if there's anything in here. I'm gonna take a picture of me looking down at the obelisk.
Really ready.
Obelisk.
Really ready.
Obelisk.
Really ready.
Do you see it? Does it look like I'm looking at the obelisk?
There's a flash come on here?
I think so. It's at the top.
Let me see. Ready?
Yep.
Dennis, they're fine.
Okay. Well, sometimes.
Sandy.
What is it?
Plan Sandy. Is someone in this bathroom right now with us? Oh, God.
What?
My head's pounding.
Yeah, that's killer. And I can tell you one of the things I love about this, that it's a pet peeve of mine. If you look at the word, it's OVILUS, and everybody calls it ovulus. It's an ovulus. And the spirit proving enlightenment said it correctly.
That is absolutely correct. Everyone says ovulus. It's not.
I don't know why.
But the spirit, there's always the question is whether spirits know what modern equipment is. This one said it correctly and loud.
Yeah, and they had one, like you said.
Tim doesn't know that there's a parabolic mic on that.
Well, they were in the bathroom. It was down the hall and on that last room, so they didn't even know it was there.
Yeah.
But that's incredible to me.
Well, here's what's even more interesting is most Ovilus pieces of equipment, no matter what stage they are, the 2, the 3, the 5, or whatever we're at now, 786. But they all say it on the face of the equipment. So it's also a possibility that it was actually reading what the guy had in his hand. He would have been standing next to him looking at it.
Yes, and nobody else in the civilized world reads what is written on that device.
Yeah.
Right.
I don't know.
Which was just absolutely crazy. And when I was listening to it and I heard it, I'm thinking, first thing I did was I went to Tim and to Dennis and said, hey, did you guys say this? Were you messing around? And then I went and looked at models to see when people turned them on, did the machine say it? Because I didn't know, so I was trying to rationally explain it. And this is none of those answers. So that was insane.
That's crazy.
All right. So that takes us then to Ron and this. So Ron, the first one I'm going to play is called Orange Beverage.
All right, I'll do quick setups to these since we're later into the show. This is a direct radio voice session. Sometimes at work, at lunch, I go into the back boardroom. Nobody's around, and I will run a little DRV setup. So this is a direct radio voice on a shortwave frequency, no radio, no sweeping, just white noise. And I ran it through an artificial intelligence component to separate background noise from words. And like we do, I tried to see if anything visual was also possible to get, and they complied.
All right. Here is that clip.
Can you see the color of my beverage or no? Can you see the color of my beverage or no?
Wow. That was great.
That was pretty cool.
Yeah, you said yes twice.
Yes, and a yeah.
And then it
The
confirmed.
second one was a yeah. She's right. The second one was a yeah. After I captioned it, I realized that the second one was a yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean, even yeah means yes. So, granted, okay, yeah, the caption may have been slightly, but the fact it said yes, yeah, and then identified. You asked if they could see it. They identified the color after saying yes, they could see it, and then identified the color. So that's incredible.
They can see you too, probably.
Of course,
The only thing they could have done beyond that to signify a more intelligent response is to call it an orange Fanta. Come on, guys. That was a great catch. That was yes, yes, orange. I want to pop Shasta. What more do you want?
It was just flavored water, which I sometimes have. So yeah, it was pretty interesting because we test those boundaries a lot just to see, can you hear us, can you see us, how do you do it, yada yada. And so we're dealing in audio primarily with this, so I was just curious if the visible part of it was possible, and that showed me that it was.
Yeah, and that I love the whole DRV aspect of it's different than what comes across on a spirit box. I don't care what type, who built it. You can get some unbelievably lengthy conversations, more so than what we've ever been able to experience with a spirit box. Now, it's one of the things that definitely catches my attention with what you are so inept at doing, Ron. But even just that simple answer of yes, and then it identifying the color, and I know we've got more to go through, which will show exactly what I'm talking about, but just some phenomenal stuff there.
Yeah, I admire Ron. Like I'm sure you do it every lunch. That is a true passion.
Well, he's been doing it,
dedication every lunch.
He's been doing it for years. They would do 1 or 2 nights a week, him and Anthony, and I know he had other people that were part of it at times. I was part of it at time, but it was that consistency that's paying off for him, and that's incredible, Ron. Just incredible.
I appreciate it. I'm chasing much greater operators and achievers than myself from the European roots of it. So I'm hoping to get to the length and conversational stuff they got, but it's encouraging and it's exciting to get it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, you've made leaps and bounds in the process of showing what can be done with it. So that's amazing.
Yeah.
I appreciate that.
All right. So the next one I'm going to play is titled Luxor.
Okay, I think so. This is we did, of course, when we were in Vegas for the Para-Unity Expo conference. I brought a mini direct radio voice setup, and I literally ran this little Ritekish radio on a shortwave band because it didn't have long wave on it, and I ran this through one noise gate, just mildly filtering it, and then through the artificial intelligence component. And we got a couple things that came through the room. I still haven't gone through it all, that were staggering. I don't know sure which one this is, if it's the one that you wanted me to make sure I sent you. If it is, I'll go into more detail afterwards. But if
it's not the Miss You. That one's next.
Okay. So then, so this one, I'm trying to remember which one this is now. Not like I didn't send them to you.
We can play it first.
I'll tell you what. Let's play it, and then we can. All right, here it comes.
Can you say hello to Katie Stafford? Can you say his name if you know him? KD?
Wow.
So Katie Stafford, who I thought was going to be at the expo, turned out I guess he was, for whatever reason, he wasn't there. So just because I was going to get to meet him for the first time, and I was excited to meet him. He's one of the brilliant people who does what we do. I was asking the day before the expo if they knew who he was, because oftentimes when I ask about other ITC operators like you, they know them. So because Katie's another guy with an amazing connection, him and his wife, Katie. So I asked, and it says the first thing I heard was it says, "Who's KD?" And then it says, "Hello, KD." And then I said, "Can you say the name if you know it?" And then it goes, "KD."
KD.
Yep.
Let me play that one more time so that the audience, you just covered exactly what's in there, they can hear it. Here it is again.
Can you say hello to Katie Stafford? Can you say his name if you know him? KD?
Wow, that's incredible.
The best part is Lourdes' reaction at the end. Woo!
Yeah, which you'll hear at the end of the next one from the Luxor
Yes.
Hotel also.
This one's even better, and I
this
love
one-
her reactions. They
Yeah,
make the whole clip.
Yeah, her reaction at the end of this one is similar. She goes, hoo-hoo. So just to conserve time, because we don't want to be holed up in the room doing sessions all the time, I was running a little direct radio. She went and take a shower, and then when it was my turn, I left it on. I started a new file. I went and go take a shower, and I left it running for her. So needless to say, when she has this dialogue, she hears something, and then she was astute enough to know to go close to the microphone to ask a follow-up question, so she was recorded, and then she gets a response to that. After that, you'll hear her go hoo hoo, and then she came in and kicked the shower door down like she was breaking in like on a raid. You got to hear this. I was like, "What are you talking about?"
All right. Well, this is a great clip. So here it is.
You don't want to talk. How are you? Did you say I miss you, baby? Come back?
Exactly.
That's incredible.
It goes exactly. Yeah,
Oh,
exactly.
okay.
She heard, and kudos to her ear for hearing that. I miss you, baby, baby, come back, because it's there. If I played it slower, and you could
it's
hear
there.
it's 100% there. But she heard it in the moment while she was doing other stuff. That's phenomenal in and of itself from a skill standpoint. But then when she asked the follow up, yeah, it goes exactly, and then she went woo-hoo, and then ran into the shower
and then kicked the shower door in.
I'm gonna play that again so that the audience now knows, because that's what it says. I miss you, baby. Baby, come back. And then she repeats asking, and then it says, which you can't miss, exactly. So here it is.
You don't want to talk. How are you? Did you say I miss you, baby? Come back?
That's insane.
That's incredible.
So
Just
that's
incredible.
That's in the hotel room at the Luxor. So that's why you'll always hear me say on shows that you can't just on the strength of anomalous voices deem an entire location haunted, because we get them everywhere. We can get them everywhere. If you have a good connection. I mean, how many locations did Chris share with EVPs that were quality EVPs? Your Prevox, Evox, you've used it on both coasts.
Yeah.
You mean Class A stuff wherever you go. So I mean, it's an anomaly, but it's not enough to call a location haunted. But it does prove the connection with spirit that we can have. I think
that's a great point. And that connection that you've established through the DRV is amazing.
Yeah.
Because that was utterly fantastic from a radio signal that has absolutely no audible transmission.
Yeah.
Where she can ask a question. Did you say this? Exactly. That's
amazing.
That's amazing. Absolutely incredible.
And it just goes to verify too that we've talked about this numerous times on numerous shows, because we catch so much stuff in different locations.
Yeah.
It's the farce that we lived by so many times in the 70s and 80s in Hollywood stigma that ghosts are stuck where they died, or they're stuck there for a reason. No, they come and go. They're everywhere. Don't take a shower, because it might not be Lourdes kicking the door, and it might just be a spirit passing through to say hi to Ron.
That's true.
It's all about free will. God gives us free will, and I think we take that with us. It's
I agree.
simple.
We agree with you.
Yep.
Yeah, this is what I was using. This is that vocal came in through this.
Mm-hmm.
That's the channel. 14,500 kilohertz shortwave. That's it. This radio.
Wow.
All right. So the next one is titled Shanley Hotel 3 a.m. Books.
All right, I'll give us a short setup because it's a little bit longer compared to the other videos. Richard Michelle of New Jersey Paranormal Project was there with us. He invited us to an investigation at the Shanley in Napanoch, New York, upstate. Richard had 2 books, his second book out. I contributed a section to it where he did an interview share thing with me. He gave some books out. He gave me copies. Yes. Oh, very cool. Yes. That is the one book I have. I have a section I wrote in it, which I was honored to do. And so he brought the books. He didn't sign any of them for anybody. He gave some away very generously, but none of them were signed. And if I didn't sign them, but I wouldn't have unless somebody asked. It wasn't my book. So that gets brought up. The time, which is in the title, 3 a.m., gets brought up, which is exactly what time it happened. And then some of the other things. And this is coming through a long wave channel, played through a sound bar, again, using the AI with no radio vocals whatsoever. So these were some of the longer ones that came through in succession. And we were kind of blown away when we heard them.
All right. Here is that clip.
That's what time it is.
That's crazy.
That is crazy.
Crazy.
Awesome.
And that was not a montage too. Those came in the order you heard them, with the time lapsed in between each vocal, exactly as you heard it. That wasn't edited. The only thing I did was I took the vocal responses on the replay, slowed down, and I just put those pieces together with a little space between them to slow them down. But the initial clip from the beginning was all in real time, the way it came through.
That's incredible.
Wow.
Just amazing. That's I don't even have words to explain that, because it's, there's so many things in there. There's the vocal response coming through a short wave or long wave. I'm not sure what 1450 I think you said you were using.
That was the other. Yeah, this was a long wave. This one was on long wave.
Long wave. Okay.
We had the boombox for that one.
All right. Well, just the fact to get an audio voice through a transmission with absolutely no radio signal whatsoever. The fact that it stated the time, it knew of the books, it said you didn't autograph them. It's confirming everything that you had just done, stating the time that it was. I mean, that's phenomenal. Absolutely phenomenal.
Well, what's most amazing about that too is it's one entity talking the entire time.
Sounds like
it's not multiple entities coming in. That is what you can hear the tonality. You can hear the tone of the voice. You can tell that is a one male talking the entire time. That is fantastic evidence.
Sounds like
Oh, I was just going to say, when we were at Kingsland, same thing. It was one gentleman speaking the entire night.
Same voice.
Same voice, line for line. You could clearly say, "Oh my God, that's the same." It was the same voice replying to all of our questions. It was crazy.
Yes, the Facebook channel is Gonyac, Gonyac Paranormal. Unless that was a typo, I think it's a Gonvac. But yeah, Gonyac. There it is.
Gonyac. There you go.
I can never get the corners right when I'm doing this shit. There you go.
I don't even have my own
because they're backwards.
Yeah, it's backwards.
Yeah, it's staggering. It's the precursor to the Ghost Box, Frank's Box, just using the white noise for audio support, and then eventually coming through the device somewhat modulated. And when I saw what they got in the earlier ITC days, I was hooked. And then now I want to sit there until I'm bald and round, like Bocce, and get the same stuff he did.
Yeah, I don't blame you. I don't blame you.
I'm working on the round part.
I'm working on the bald part.
All right, so that moves us, Ron, to one called Log 137.
This one's a shorter one, but this one was really impactful to us. We had Anthony Simonelli with us on Google Duo, which is a version of like FaceTime. It's a video conference. We have the phone on a selfie stick, so he's right above the sound bar that we use, so you could hear it. He's vocally as present as we are when he asks questions. He's by the recorder. So he heard this also. We all heard it. Like you said, we did a sitting once or more a week for 2 years straight without missing a week, holidays, whatever. So this was not that long ago. This was our 137th sitting. We did some extra ones in between, but the ones we officially logged. So there's probably more that we've done. And we asked, just for confirmation, and then we can get into actually meaning of life questions, whatever deep stuff. But just to confirm, we got a connection bridge happening. Can you tell us the log number of the session? We both asked, and when they complied, it was like when you talk to somebody, you don't know if they know the language, and you say things slower. That's what they did, and it was unmistakable to us. We all heard this in the moment, all three of us.
Awesome. Okay, here is that clip.
If you can hear us, can you say log 137?
Would you be kind to repeat the log number 137, please? Like that we know you're listening to us, that you can hear us.
Yes!
It said it.
137 in a row. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you.
That was very clear.
Wow.
That's awesome.
That's incredible.
It was just incredible. Of course, we have failed miserably at 138, 139, 140, 141, 142.
That's why they say this is not pedestrian level stuff, because anyone who thinks they're going to go out and all this stuff is just going to occur, no. I mean, 12 years, we're showing probably some of the best stuff. Now, this was all just from last year, but how many times did we investigate, even with the COVID and other stuff that was going on? But this does not come on every investigation or anywhere near every investigation. It's like maybe 1 in 1,000. But amazing stuff, Ron. Absolutely amazing.
I appreciate it. Yeah, that was we were staggered by that, just because we all heard it. We all looked at each other, like, on Anthony on the camera, like, you heard that.
All right. So I've got one more left to play from Ron. And this one is titled The Seven Montage.
This one's a little longer. Yeah, so I'll give a brief setup of it. And you can cut off the little staticky logo thing I have in the beginning if you want to, or at the end. So there's an old ITC, I guess, lore or story or legend to all this stuff. Mark Macy from Boulder, Colorado, who's one of the great ITC operators of our time and his. He talked about an ethereal group called the Seven. They're keepers of the connection bridge. They facilitate and permit the communications that we get to happen. Again, this is lore. I don't, it could 100% be true. I believe from experience and stuff that, that it's very likely and very possible. The European mindset talks about stations of communication and ports of communication and having governance over it. And so it's different than the just ghosts floating around us that we're kind of poking at and getting responses from mentality that you might, see on TV, let's say. So I went in pursuit of that a little bit because I realized that 7 was coming up a lot. And then since then, Chris Nuara of Trinity Paranormal at Long Island has sent me a couple of different clips where he also got 7. One of these in this montage came from your Prevox at Kingsland Manor also. So I give a little bit of the story setup, the background that I just explained in the beginning of the video, but just an interesting tie-in that this number, for odd reasons, or maybe not odd, comes up and has been coming up a lot.
Very cool. All right. Here is that clip.
Tell me about the 7. Who are the 7? Ethereal, angelic, what are they? Who are they? May I ask? I'm going to try to reach out later again because I have to go back to work. Could you say the 7 one more time for me? Thank you. I heard 7. You guys are awesome. Whoever it was, thank you.
Okay, let me ask you another question.
No.
All right, no. No. All right, no.
Okay, that was awesome and a perfect one to wrap the show up because it had like a whole storyline behind it. That was really cool.
That was fantastic. That was.
And I don't even remember the 7 from that night at Kingsland Manor with the Prevox coming through. But it's interesting that it's supposed to be tied to keepers of the ITC bridge, and we got on everything we did, especially your Prevox, some amazing communication that night.
We definitely did, and you know what? I was not aware of the term 7 and the connection that you just showed us and made. But I'm definitely going to, next time I'm doing any type of review, try to see, it might be all over the place, and I never caught it, not being aware of what it meant from an ITC perspective.
Right.
But I'll definitely take another look. But with that said, and the fact that it's getting late for you guys, I want to say thank you to everyone in the audience. You guys have been great in 2021, following us, keeping track of our show, to watch each and every week.
Yeah.
We greatly appreciate that. I want to say thank you to all of the EVPE members. Thank you guys for taking the time to pull these clips. It was so much fun to review some of our best stuff from 2021. I want to say thank you to KGRA for always being there for us, letting us put this show out. And of course, again, thank you to the audience. Without you guys, wouldn't make any difference if we did. So thank you. Okay, so Chris, you want to give a closing line?
So everybody, we spent the last year with KGRA, and it's been fantastic. I mean, we've been doing the show. We love the show. We're a combination of Gonyak Paranormal. We're a combination of Southern Entities here in Charlotte, and we're a combination of Entity Voices Paranormal Investigations with Tony and Cherie. But we are EVPE every Monday night, and we love doing this. And the only way all this happens going into the new year, I expect everybody watching, your New Year's resolution should be to stay haunted. Happy New Year, everybody. We'll see you next
Happy New
week.
Year.